thing is communicated, regardless of if it is appreciated. Okay, very important. Now, which are the conditions of comprehensibility? Okay, so which are the conditions of artistical appreciation? So the first condition is, or there are a set of conditions. So they're the conditions of comprehensibility, and this has to do with hermeneutic. You can also call them hermeneutic conditions. So hermeneutic is the doctrine and the philosophic method that inquires how things are understood and interpreted. So the conditions of comprehensibility. So a very important condition of comprehensibility is the historical context of something. So for example, if you don't know nothing about this image on the here in the background, okay, you have a harder time doing a properly appreciation of this image that I will just let for people who know it to maybe leave a comment. I will think about if I will open what it is. For me, it's enough that there is an event of appreciation here going on. People who are completely corrupted in the sense of cultural programming, they might even see the worst possible in this image. Okay, so historic context is obvious. It's an obvious element of appreciation. Let me bring it back here. So the historical context, and this has a lot to do with the general knowledge or about things. So without the situation of an artwork in a historic line, is way harder to observe to identify which are the valuable things of the artwork. Okay, I can come back to this in another video to analyze what gives the value of the artwork. So in some with examples also in musical composition, what gives the value in a fugue composed by Bach. A component of this value is the historic placement, and if you don't know the historic placement, things might not make so much sense, principally regarding the enjoyment that you get out of the listening. So biographical components. So if you don't understand the intentions of the artist, the challenge that he overcome, what the work means to him, and how, for example, an artwork can be an answer to another artist. Sometimes things are like in a dialogue, not only historically, but biographically, towards another artistical school and things like this. Without this component, you decrease the chance of artistical appreciation. Okay, so your perception of beauty will be actually decreased. So okay, I mean your the conditions to perceive the beauty will decrease. You can still perceive the beauty of the artwork, perhaps due to other condition. Then you have here another condition that is an hermeneutic one, is to understand the aesthetic idiom, the grammar of the style, okay, in which things are going on. For example, here in this example, there is a whole grammar here going on, and there are things that are new here in this artwork that has never been done before. But there are also elements that they relate to history of art. So there is a meta-linguistic element here going on. This picture is about another history. Okay, this picture is not about itself. So which is this external history that gives the value to this picture and that makes the condition of appreciation of this picture, which is this thing that sets one of the conditions of appreciation of this picture here. Okay, this determines a tendency towards a type of artistical style. In this case, it is the fantasy style, and this has affinity with, for many reasons, with graphic arts and digital art. So then you start to perceive that this is not a painting actually anymore, but another thing. So this is not obeying the grammar of a painting, of the painting tradition. Exactly. This is dealing with other things. So if it is not a painting, it is easier to draw this, and it is easier to conceive this artwork from the material and technique point of view. This means if this technique category is easier than painting, then we have to compensate this easiness with another thing, and this other thing is the communication of a more original value. So the communication of something that has to do with a challenge, and the challenge here is the idea that is being expressed by this image. The idea expressed by this image is actually original because it was never depicted before. Before this image, we don't know any image with this level of expression communicating this idea, this event that belongs to a history told by another person. And alone this act of communication and the insight and the idea to do this in this way is already the element that gives value to this artwork. Okay, so understanding the musical the grammar in this case, here we are in the field of digital art. we can appreciate this painting in a better way, because we understand that this painting is not only about technique of painting. It is a digital painting. This picture is a digital painting. This picture is not about the technique of painting, okay, from the material point of view. So it is easier than a painting of the same content. Okay, it is easier. Because it is easier, it would have less value, but this is compensated with another element, an element of idea, an element of meaning, of semiotic substance. And this is what holds the artistical value of this picture. And not only this. So here I spoke about hermeneutic conditions. Aesthetic idiom actually, it goes towards another area that has to do with semiotics. Here I have to be careful. So it has to do with the dimension of signs. Regardless the context, but they are interconnected somehow. Here we have to be careful and study more. So psychological conditions. This is super very important. This is very, very ignored. Okay, very, very ignored. To say in simple terms, we live in a very dumb society, so it's very hard to find people who will appreciate what you do the more engaged you are in what you do. Okay, so what they will appreciate is the superficie of what you do and the social proof of what you do. So for example, if your artwork is famous, and if you create a network, a community that will give value to people. So many people who are in a concert of Wagner or rock concert or whatever, they are there not even because of the music, they are because of the social bond that has been created. This is one reason. The other reason is the network. So many people who are perhaps even subscribing to you as a composer, and you are already a composer who has commissions of things like this. Some people, they do this because they are teachers to network nowadays, and this goes very easily outside of the path of authenticity. So they might network with people who they actually don't truly appreciate. So they are there for other reasons. Okay, so everything that we have in our society today in regards to appreciation is very fake. So much as our society, we have not so much case. I forgot again the monitor. Let's see if the audio is okay again. Just a moment. Okay, it is okay. So the rule today is to have a fake appreciation. So true appreciation is a hard thing. So people who are really searching for music, regardless of the marketing, and things like this. This is a very hard situation. This is why I give so much importance for this discussion, and this has to do with our lack of cognitive conditions. So I assume that we are too doomed nowadays, including myself. I had to make myself dumber in order to be able to socialize. When I was 20 years old, actually, I feel I was way more intelligent. So I woke up at 5 o'clock and was studying Spinoza uh, before someone tells me to do it, and I really wanted to understand things, and I had a notebook with many important notes. Because of very pragmatic biographic conditions, I have to go more towards music, and my theoretic side, I just perhaps assassinated, let's say, like this in a dramatic way. But dead things can still born again. So cognitive conditions. So very important cognitive conditions is the attention. So Nadia Boulanger has a very important moment where she speaks about attention when teaching some of the great composers of the last century. I um, I will pick this and quote this to you. These things take time to understand. I could make a wonderful Hollywood essay of this content here, but this is original content, so it's enough that I present you the idea and pay attention. So attention is the from the cognitive point of view is perhaps the condition, the essential condition of appreciation, and this goes hierarchically. I observed this and organized it very well here for you. So so attention is conditioned for many things, and it is conditioned for sensorial perception. Sensorial perception is another important quality that you should have to appreciate things better. And here comes even ear training. So actually, every child needs ear training, not only the composer. And every child needs some idea of music theory, not only the composer. People question if music theory has any benefit. They are ignorant of the matter. Okay, Richard Strauss, he complains that normal people do not know music theory, and we have today composers of classic music that ask themselves if there is some benefit in music theory. Now, footnote: I understand what we could call music theoretic nihilism, to give a more sophisticated term. This is what happens when you start studying so much Penderecki and Lutoslavsky and understanding the philosophy of the contemporary music and Neue Musik movement, that you understand the dissolution of traditional music theory. This another thing, and this is also very important. You have the dissolution of music theory, and then you have only philosophic observations about music, so to say. This cause is somehow very important, but it's not the same as the ignorance. The ignorance, they ignore music theory. They say no to music theory before they can even they ignore what they didn't study. This is the difference. And Lutoslavsky studied music theory if he ignores music theory. This has another meaning.